Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be a long one. It's going to be a giant clean with me because I'm going to clean up all my makeup brushes and I'm going to do like little small reviews, and I thought it'd be really fun because I have different like ways to clean your brushes. And I might get rid of them because I have a lot. Alright, so I'm going to start off with this one. This is an Ulta blush brush. Looks like that, and I'm just going to go ahead and use this soap bar. You see me looking really excited because I'm watching a Top 2 video. So I actually got this in like a little set, and it looks okay. It's not like my absolute favorite brush in the world. I'm trying to get more comfortable on my feet. And I don't have a brush dryer at the moment, so that's going to be different stuff. But this is what it looks like. It's the white. Got this. I don't know. I might get rid of it. I might give this to like my sister or something. And I'm going to have like little piles because I'm actually trying to declutter this. I have a lot. So this is my Lexi 522 tapered highlighter brush. It looks like this. I used it today. I actually prefer to use it for blush like this because, I don't know, I like the way that this brush feels, and I feel like it fits just perfectly for blush. My blush is still on it. So I actually like this brush. I got this in a boxy charm. It's actually a really good brush. I know you probably can hear like the water, sorry. I can't help that because I am filming in my parents' bathroom, and the only way I could place the little phone to record was right there, which is kind of like in a weird level, like right underneath the mirror and right on top of like the weird backsplash my parents have in their bathroom. So it's like a little tiny area, and that's the only place I could fit it, and it's not moving, but at least it's not moving. Alright, so this is what it looks like, and this is definitely a brush I'm not parting with because I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So one of the newer brushes I got is this. It's the Alamar Cosmetics Brightening Brush. It looks like this. It's kind of like a fluffy foundation brush almost type of thing. It kind of can fit like perfectly, like I'd say right here for brightening, obviously. Yeah, it would fit perfectly. I used it today to powder my whole face like this. I haven't really tried it to use the brightening thing because I like to use my concealer, and I move my concealer out with a sponge, and I like to take that sponge and I put my powder on top of it. So the only other powder I have that would be separate would be my foundation powder. So maybe I will try the powder because I do feel like I make a giant mess with my sponge. But I don't bake, but I love my under eyes, and using my e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer, it's the one that was last year. They just made the hydrating one for it. I'm going to get the hydrating one eventually because I do want to try that on my channel. So this is one of my favorite concealers. And this brush came in boxy charm too. I'm going to show you guys eventually how I just didn't even see the faucet. I'm going to show you guys eventually how I'm washing them right now because I have like 5 other ways to wash them. And I am keeping this just because it's Alamar Cosmetics, and I love Kathleen Lights, and she really loves this brand. It comes in BoxyCharm, and I actually think I got an Alamar Cosmetics brush in one of my first BoxyCharms. So I'm definitely keeping my Element Cosmetics brushes because I also have their eye brushes that came like a long time ago that I never part with, and I used to use them like every day. I am actually kind of watching a video because I'm making plans for newer videos, for other videos that I'm going to do. Just different kinds of videos. You probably know my boys will come on soon, and I know my sister's coming on. So this is a Moda Pro BNX 402 smudger. It looks like this. This is my first eye brush that I cleaned today, and this is another one that came in a BoxyCharm. It came in like a little set, and I actually really like this. It's actually really good quality. I like the grip right here that you can get from right here. It's kind of like a different texture, but I like the grip that you can get for it, so I like that. How I've been washing my brushes so far is I've just been using soap, just a bar soap. So this is what it looks like clean. I'm not parting with this brush. I love my BoxyCharm brushes, as you guys can tell. So this brush, it comes from the brand Beauty Professionals, I believe. Yeah, Beauty Professional. It is called the Performance Buffer Brush. I actually got this in a Christmas gift set from my parents a few years ago, and it's really going strong. It's actually my favorite brush to blend out cream contour, and it looks like this. It really needs washed. I actually really like this. I don't have the $300 Artis brush because that's really expensive. So this is, I feel personally for me, a really good like alternative to it because I actually really love this brush, and I probably reach for this brush the most to blend out my cream contour on a day-to-day basis. I just say this is going to be a long video, right? It's going to be really long. I'm going to have a come clean with me, my full makeup brush collection. But I also am kind of decluttering because I'm trying to get rid of some of these brushes. I don't know if I'm going to give them to my mom or my sister. My mom will probably go over them first, to be completely honest. My mom loves my brush collection. So this is what it looks like when it's clean. It's got the white instead of the brown that it had. I like the bristles. The bristles are very soft. They're very stiff. They don't really go anywhere because they kind of like shot out. I really like this brush. This is definitely my favorite. I'm not parting with it. Let's see. Another BoxyCharm brush. This is the Luxie 111 Mini Flat Angled Brush, and it looks like this. This is actually another BoxyCharm brush, but this is actually one of the ones that, I said BoxyCharm, right? Yeah, this is actually a really good pencil detail brush that I like to use. I kind of like to use it on like the lower lash line and stuff. I think I used it today on my lower lash line. Yeah, I used it today on my lower lash line. I just used the Maybelline City Mini palette. It was the all matte one. I used all the colors in the crease. And then I took my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2, I believe, palette, and I took the shade Heat Wave, and I just put it on my finger and I put it on the lid. I got a really natural look. You could probably get the same type of look from like the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells quad or Trio, whichever one you have. Probably get the same look. And I just used my ColourPop BFF eyeliner and just did a line. So this is what it looks like. Not parting with this either. And I'm going to get my brow on. So I've had this very, very long. I know it came in like a little Christmas gift that my mom got me like the first year I started doing makeup back in like 2015. So I don't know exactly what this brush is, but it looks like this. I like to use it for my brows. You could use it for like a flat angled brush under your eye if you wanted to, but I prefer to use it for my brows. Alright, and it's clean and it looks like this. Probably not going to part with these just yet, just because I love my brow collection. I love my brow brush collection. So probably not going to part with this just yet. Probably will declutter one day, but not yet. Alright. This is another one that, this is a Broadway Colors one. So Broadway Colors is a brand that is at Dollar General. And it's a fan brush. As you can see, it's very flimsy. So it's just a highlighter brush like this. I do two highlights. I do a natural highlight kind of here and here. I put it down the bridge of my nose, and then I do a very intense gold highlight lightly just right here, here, and here. I think I might part ways with this one. It's very easy to clean, but personally for me, I'm just not really into fan brushes. I'm more into like the big fluffy brushes. ColourPop has a really nice highlighting fluffy brush that my boyfriend broke, but he's going to get me a new one, so yay! He actually somehow got the brush hairs out of the brush, and you could see the glue still attached to the hairs. I don't know how he did it. He was just trying to be sweet one day and like wash my makeup brushes. Didn't work out. But this is what it looks like cleaned. I think I'm going to go ahead and part ways with this and put it right here. So this is the Wet n Wild. It's from their spring collection. I remember that. I don't remember what year. It's the Wet n Wild spring collection brush. It's the powder brush. It looks like this. Really needs cleaned. I use it for foundation a lot, as you can see. I actually, when they first came out, I think I saw Kathleen Lights had done a review on them. Either Kathleen Lights or Tati. And I went crazy and I went to Walgreens, which at the time that's where my sister worked, and I got every single one that they had. They didn't have the whole collection, but I got every single one that they had. And now you can get them at Dollar Tree. So, yeah. Saving a little bit of money. It's not that expensive. I have actually had this brush a while, so the bristles are kind of like stained because, like I said, I do prefer to use this for foundation. I blend my foundation out usually with a sponge, but I apply it with a brush, like a big brush like this. So just because I actually do reach for this brush a lot, and I probably will now a lot more, that it doesn't have the thing on the bristles, I'm keeping this. I have another fan brush. This is, well, it doesn't have it on there anymore, but we all know it's Eco Tools, and it's a fan brush, and it's very flimsy. Oh, I just saw powder go everywhere. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and clean this, because I think I'm just going to give it away, too. I can't hoard all of my brushes and have a giant brush collection, just because if I'm being realistic, I don't prefer fan brushes. I don't feel like fan brushes apply your highlight as intense as like a fluffier brush would, like the ColourPop one, the tapered highlighted one, or whatever it's called, small highlight, I think what it is. I don't feel like fan brushes apply the pigment to your highlight as well as those ones do, so this one's going to go. Here's another Wet n Wild. It's a crease brush. I very much love these Wet n Wild brushes. I have a ton of these. I have like 4 or 5, maybe 6 crease brushes, so maybe I'll dial that down to like 1 or 2, because I have other crease brushes as well that I prefer to use. I don't really want to have a duplicate brush, so I might just get rid of like the ones that I have that are duplicated. So here fluffy, as you can see. It's also very old, but I'm keeping this. This is the Wet n Wild Rebel Rose brush. I'm keeping this just because I love roses. I love the color black. This is so beautiful. It's not very ideal if you're applying in your crease, just because the petals that stick out on the side do get in the way quite a bit. And they will hurt if you're going like deep into the crease, especially. But I don't care, just because I really loved this collection. This is actually the collection I believe my grandfather got for me before he died, or he got one of them for me. I think it was this one. I'm trying to remember what the highlight was, because the highlight was what I really wanted, and he ended up getting me the full collection. But this is what it looks like cleaned. I'm not parting with this. Mine. I love that one. This is kind of what I was talking about. My mom actually purchased this for me. It's a Moda brush, and it's a highlight and glow brush. It's a very fluffy, almost crease, but it's too big for your crease. This is what I would prefer to apply a highlight with. I really needed to get rid of some brushes, just because I had like 4 jugs full of brushes, and this container is completely full, and it's kind of heavy. So this is what this one looks like cleaned off. I'm keeping this because I love brushes like these for highlight, and it's kind of cute. Here is another one of those brushes, the Moda Precision Contour. I actually really like this, especially if I'm applying my contour. I actually used this brush today to apply my powder contour on top of my cream contour. I think it went a little heavy because I forgot to apply my cream contour, and I had my concealer on, so I was like, well, I'll just do everything all at once. And yeah, so it might be a little heavy, especially because I do go for a darker blush, but that's just kind of what I'm into right now. I actually do really like this brush. It's actually a lot different than my other contour brushes that I have. It's like softer, actually, and it's more like, I feel flimsy kind of. I definitely feel like the bristles are shorter on this one than it is on this other type of contour brushes that I have, or maybe it's longer, I don't know. I just feel that this is different. This is different than my other contour brushes, so I'm keeping this one. This is another BoxyCharm brush. It's a Luxie 131 Mini Angled. It looks like this. It's kind of a crease brush, but it's angled, if you can see. I'm going to go ahead and line this. So this is what it looks like cleaned off. You can see much better the angle on it. This is definitely the type of brush where if you're doing like a dramatic outer corner, you would want to use something like this to pack it onto the outer corner and then blend it lightly into the crease, because it's got that like fluffiness to it. It is a BoxyCharm brush, so I'm not going to get rid of it because I love my BoxyCharm brushes, even though some of them are very unpractical. And this is another BoxyCharm brush. This is the brush, one of the brushes I was telling you about. It's my Alamar Cosmetics crease brush. I tend to use this every day as like the crease brush that I use to apply my transition shade. is what it looks like cleaned off. It's very fluffy and long, which is why I feel like it probably applies my transition shade better than any of my other type of crease brushes, which is why this is a staple in my makeup routine. I love this brush, and I'm keeping it. I'm getting rid of 3 and keeping every single other one. I probably am doing a bad job, but I don't care at this point. So this is another Wet n Wild brush, and it actually has the thing on it. I don't think the other ones had the Wet n Wild on it. And it's the small stipple brush. This is one of the brushes that they didn't have when it first came out when I went to go get it. So I ended up getting this one a little bit later. And I actually do like these stipple brushes. I'm going to go ahead and clean this because it's so I actually like stipple brushes like this. It looks like this clean. I've used this kind of a stipple brush for a lot. I've used it for foundation, powder, concealer, you pretty much name it, contour, blush, except for highlight, and pretty much anything on the face I've used a brush like this for. And it's really, really good. I definitely think a stipple brush is like ideal in your makeup collection. I have more, but I don't know where all of my brushes are. This is just the majority of them, so let's just go with it. I'm keeping this, so. This is another one of those crease brushes from Wet n Wild. I have videos playing where I'm just kind of like reading stuff. I have a watch list with like 40 different videos on it that I have been watching since yesterday, trying to get through it. Alright, so here's another one of those crease brushes. Looks like this, cleaned off. I don't want to have any duplicate brushes, so I am going to get rid of it. Here is a Luxie 245 small shader. This came in BoxyCharm. It looks like this, and it is one of those like little small shaders. I didn't use this today because I didn't feel like the Heat Wave shade applied very well with the brush, so I just went ahead and used my finger. That's just a little trick that a lot of people will use, where if it doesn't apply very well with the brush, it'll apply much more pigmented with your finger. Alright, so this is what it looks like cleaned off. I did get this in a BoxyCharm, and I am going to keep this just because I do like my BoxyCharm brushes, and I do like these kinds of brushes because I can even use them for highlight. It's just today I didn't actually incorporate this into my makeup routine today. This is an e.l.f. blending eye brush, which is kind of like a crease brush, probably a more defined crease brush. This is what it looks like. It's very small. I'm going to go ahead and clean this off. I don't think I really use this too much. I think I use it like once or twice. So this is what it looks like cleaned off. I think I have a duplicate of this, so I'm going to keep one and give the other one away. And yeah, it's right here. This is the same exact brush as the e.l.f. blending eye brush. Like I said, I'm going to keep one and give the other one away, and I'm just going to give this one away because the other one is right there, and I don't feel like moving it. Alright, so that's all what it looks like. Cleaned off, just the basic crease brush. I'm going to put it in the pile and give away. Alright, so this is another boxy charm brush. It's a Lexi 250 Large Eye Blending. This is another brush for if I don't use my Elmar Cosmetics, I'll apply my transition with it because it's very, very large, as you can see, and I can get my transition everywhere that my transition needs to go. One of the things I hate about my parents' house in this bathroom is that the sink is like always clogged for some reason. So I'm going to just stop using the water and I'm just going to use the mucky makeup water and then ask my dad later why it's clogged so bad. Here you go. This is what it looks like when it's cleaned off. It's a very nice brush. I'm keeping it. Yes, it concerns me that this water doesn't go down ever. Here is another boxy charm brush. It's a Lucy 512 small contouring. Looks like this. I'm just going to go ahead and use like one of my liquid soaps instead. Clean these off. Now I'm just putting a little bit of like liquid soap in my hand and just doing this. Oh, it is going down, just really slowly, I think. Okay, I'm just going to do it like this because I feel like this cleans them just as well. Apply probably less water. I'm just making sure all of the soap is out of the brush, just because I don't like letting any type of soap sit in my brush, just because I feel like it'll get down to the glue. And that sucks, because I love my brushes, and it's very hard for me to part with them, obviously. This is what it looks like cleaned off. I'm keeping it because I do actually like to use this for contouring. It's actually not that bad. I think I use this more for powder foundation to set my liquid foundation, but it is for contouring. I think I have used it for contouring and blush as well, but I'm keeping it. This is the e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. It looks like this. It's kind of like one of those small shader brushes. It came with that eye blending brush, I know that for sure, just because of the way it looks. So this is what it looks like cleaned off. I'm going to keep it since I kept one of the eye blending brushes, and if I have another duplicate one, which I'm not entirely sure if I do, but if I do have a duplicate one, I'm going to throw that in the giveaway pile. This is my Real Techniques fan brush. So this came from a limited edition set that my grandmother got me, actually, believe it or not. Came in a limited edition set. I don't think it's limited edition anymore. You might be able to get this brush. I don't know. But I love Real Techniques. Real Techniques was actually the first brand that I got of brushes when I first got into makeup because Kathleen Lights had recommended it. So Real Techniques have a special place in my heart. I love their brushes. Their brushes are really good and they last a very long time. This is what it looks like cleaned off. I'm keeping this even though I don't like to use fan brushes. I guess I could use it on a lighter highlight day. I can't part ways with this because I love Real Techniques so much. So I'm going to have to keep it. So this is another one of those Wet n Wild brushes. It is the blush brush. It looks like this. I really went crazy with these Wet n Wild brushes when they came out. I had to have all of them. I just thought it was so cool. They were so pretty, and Kathleen Lights, I believe, had said that they were so good. And they were really affordable, so I had to get them. I had to. And I did end up getting all of them, I think. Alright, so it's dry. Well, no, not dry just yet. Alright, here. This one's a blush brush, though. It's got, like, longer bristles on it, I believe, than the other ones do. I think this one has, like, the longest bristles. And they're very flimsy. So this is, like, the hardest one I think I have to clean off. Okay, yeah, the water is going down. It's just really slow. Probably need to get someone to look at that. I will tell my parents. So this is what it looks like dried off. It's really pretty. I love the fact that it still has some white to it. I'm keeping it because I love this collection so much and it brings back so many memories. And I could probably text my sister right now and she'd be like, oh yeah, I totally remember when you did that. Here is another brow brush. I don't know the brand. I think it came also in a Christmas gift set that my mom got me. My mom always gets me Christmas gift sets of brushes, like literally every year. And they always usually have like a brow brush in them. Although I still haven't found my spoolie. So, might need to be doing that. My boyfriend and I have a lot of things we have to go through. Alright, so here is what it looks like cleaned off. It's just a square is all I was going to say. You could use it for your brows or you could use it for down here. I use powder and gel in my brows, so I do use brushes like these. I'm going to keep it just because I do have an extensive brow brush collection. So I'm going to keep that until it's time for me to go back through these and declutter them. My father is home and that is him on the phone. This is another Olimar Cosmetics. Oh, how lovely. Destroyed. If you can see, it's like cracked. The paint's coming off. You gotta love my in-laws. It is, I don't remember what it's called, but it's Olimar Cosmetics because the green and the orangey metallic gold thing. It came with the crease brush. I do prefer to use, it's a shader brush, as you can tell. It's a shader brush for sure. I'm going to go ahead and clean it off and try not to destroy it, because I love my BoxyCharm brushes and I love my LMR Cosmetics brushes, because it's actually a really good brand. I believe Kathleen Lights' friend Gabby, or her name is Gabby, started this line, I believe, and it's actually really good. She actually, I believe, is a makeup artist, like a real makeup artist, so her products are actually really good. I have an eyeshadow palette that I haven't done a review on yet, but I probably will, because I rave so much about all my cosmetics in my brush video. So this is what it looks like cleaned off. The shader brush, again, you can use it to really apply your eyeshadow on your lid, or you can use your finger. Some people who have fake nails, I do not prefer to spray these type of a brush and dip it into their eyeshadow and do it like that. I feel like there is a difference. No matter how you do it, it's always going to apply it differently. So that's why I'm keeping this until it breaks. I needed to reach down for another towel because my other one is soaked. Alright, so this is the Luxie 660 Precision Foundation Brush. It looks like this. I'm going to put the brush back. Looks like this. It's another one of those fluffy, like, foundation type brushes where it's got, like, the traditional, like, it's the foundation brush that, like, sticks straight up, but it's, like, fluffy. You could definitely use it to apply, like, powder or maybe blend out your concealer, but like I said, I've been loving to just use a sponge, or you can apply, like, your powder foundation. I would not apply foundation with this unless you're, like, just dot, 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 and then blending out with a sponge like I do. Yeah, but I'm keeping it for sure. I'm going to start using the water again because the sink is now empty, and I'm going to need to clean it out anyways. But I'm still using the gel instead of the soap. I prefer the soap. Alright. So you can kind of tell it's like wet and dry. It's like this, like that's kind of like what a foundation, a regular foundation brush would look like. It's just would stick straight up. But this one, when it's dry, poofs out like that. So you can really use this for whatever it is you wanted to use it for. But I'm keeping it just because I got it in BoxyCharm, and I'm not buying Luxie brushes. I'm not buying any brush from the looks of this. I gotta. I just got water all over this one part of my leggings. I'm going to be feeling that later. Alright, this is another one of those Beauty Professional. This is the Smoky Blender. It's kind of like a pencil brush, I would say. Something you could probably apply like inner corner highlight, maybe like brow bone highlight, or like lower lash line detail, for sure. I probably would use this mostly for like lower lash line, probably, or maybe inner corner, but definitely lower lash line. This is definitely my lower lash line brush collection area. So this is what it looks like cleaned off. There's nothing particularly amazing about this brush, and there's nothing particularly bad about this brush, like how the blender one that I had earlier that I really like, the cream contour. that's a brush that I reach for a lot to blend out my cream contour, whereas this one isn't like a, oh, I have to use this for my lower lash line. It's not like that. But I am going to keep it just because I like to have sets, and I think that the colors are beautiful. It's like a muted, like, pink nude with gold. I really like this, like, color together. So this is another Ulta brush, and it's a crease brush. It's a very tiny crease brush. Very tiny. I don't think I have a crease brush like this. I'm debating if I should get rid of it because I don't really want to keep the blush brush version of this because I don't feel like it's very special. Whereas I don't really have a small crease brush like this, but at the same time, I don't really reach for this to do my crease. I reach for this if I'm really like trying to do like a very blown out lower lash line. Today I actually did use this to apply my brow bone highlight. It's just not intended. I mean, I think I'm going to go ahead and keep it just because I want to keep one Ulta brush, and it is different, but I don't use it for what it's intended. I think it's too small for the crease unless you're like applying specific powder into the crease to a specific color that would be everywhere in that part of the crease, and then maybe blending it out with a bigger brush. I just don't feel like that's a one and done thing. Definitely not. This is my Flower Beauty crease brush. It came in some of my Flower Beauty palettes. It's actually a really good brush. I think the palette was like $16, and it said like it comes with a $6 brush, and it's actually really good. I would definitely buy this brush. If I didn't have these ones, I would definitely buy this brush in the bigger version because it is a little small. And it does get kind of hidden away by my other brushes because of how small it is. I know I have maybe one or two of other ones of these, so I'm going to, again, keep one and get rid of the duplicates because I don't feel like I need 3, 4, 5, 6 of the same brush. I don't feel like I need it. So this is what it looks like cleaned off. As I said, I'm going to keep one and get rid of the duplicates because I know I have duplicates somewhere in this. So here is another BoxyCharm brush. It's my Moda Pro BMX 498 line brush. So it looks like this so far. Looks like this. It's got the angle. You could use this for your lower lash line if you really wanted to. What this is actually meant to be used for is gel eyeliner to get that wing, but I use my ColourPop BFF eyeliner usually, the liquid liner, and I do just fine getting a wing with it. I don't really use gel much anymore, so I tend to use these for my brows because, like I said earlier, I prefer to put powder and gel in my brows at the moment. So I have an extensive brow brush collection, and I'm not intending to part ways with any of them today just because I do use brow powders and gels. I'm sure if I got into pencils, I would probably get rid of these, but I feel like brow powders and gels look better in my brows at the moment. I feel like it matches my hair color a lot better. So here's what it looks like cleaned off. Like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it. I'm not parting ways with my brow brush collection today. Here's another Wet n Wild crease brush. I said I had a bunch of these. And I said I'm only going to keep one and I'm going to get rid of the duplicates. This one's really fluffy. They're all like made differently, I think. The Wet n Wild, like the consistency is differently in their brushes. But they're all the same brush. Like they don't have a small crease brush, fluffy crease brush. They're like a small blender or a smoky blender. And a small blender, I think is what it is. I don't know. I think this is probably going to be my longest video ever on my channel. It's like going to be a really long come clean with me for my whole makeup brush collection. Small reviews. I'll probably put like small reviews of each brush plus my declutter, because I didn't actually intend to declutter any of my brushes today. To be completely honest, I didn't intend to, but I'm looking at my collection and I'm like, it's kind of overwhelming. So, here is another one of those motor brushes. It is the Smoky Eye. Looks like this. It's a very big pencil brush, so like you can see, like even in the camera, like just how big it is compared to my lower lash line. It is a smoky blender, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna get rid of this one. So be careful with these brushes if you buy them. I'm gonna show you, because there's not any blue shadow on this brush. And there's blue, if you can see, it's mixing into my clear gel. My gel is pink in the bottle, but it comes out clear. And it's definitely not blue, but I can see like the pigment in the brush that's blue is coming off on it. So if you get these brushes, just be careful of that. I actually got these at Walmart. Well, my mom got them for me at Walmart. I know she got them at Walmart. She loves Walmart. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and part ways with this brush because I just feel personally it's too big for me to use as a pencil brush. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and part ways with this one. Alright, so this is another one of those brow brushes. It's actually angled like the other one was. It came in a gift set, so I don't have the name because it's not on here. It's so old. So again, this can be used as a brow brush, or more specifically, it's meant to be used with the angle for an eyeliner brush for your gel eyeliner to get that perfect cat eye. But I don't use it as that. I probably would if I got back into gel eyeliner. But my go-to, the ColourPop BFF liquid eyeliner 10. I have 2 of those actually. My boyfriend's sister actually ended up stealing the first one, and my boyfriend replaced it because she never gave it back. So again, I'm not parting ways with any of my brow brushes today. I just can't do it. I just can't. Not today. I probably will another day. This is another one from that collection, but it's a crease brush. I actually do remember using this for like my first shade, like not my transition shade, but my first crease shade that I would ever use in the crease. So I would do like the Alamar Cosmetics for the transition, and then use maybe this for like this first shade that was going in my crease. And it does apply very, very well. It's very fluffy. It starts off like really small at the bottom and then fluffs out at the top. I'll show you in a minute once it's dry and clean. I feel like this brush does do a very decent job of fluffing color where you need it to go in the crease. Definitely. I wish I knew the brand, and I wish I could get this brush. So that's why I'm not parting ways with this, because I do actually like this brush. So you can see how it starts very small at the bottom and tapers out at the front and at the top like that. That's why I feel like it is definitely good for like a starter for where you're creating your crease, because you definitely, each kind of crease brush, you know, the way that they look are going to do different things with the color. I'm not sure if like a lot of people know that. But if it's like a very small crease brush, then it's only like that Ulta one is only going to put it in a specific color, and it's not big enough to blend it. Whereas this one is big enough to fluff it everywhere. You could probably use it to apply transition, but I use it to apply my first crease shade because technically when I do my crease, I do lightest to darkest. So I want my lightest colors all the way up here and my darker colors more in the crease. That's kind of what I was going for today with my eye look. The darker colors are more deeper in the crease. This is my Aesthetica P12. Came in a BoxyCharm. Looks like this. I'm not parting ways with this. I'm just saying that right now. It's a BoxyCharm brush, and I actually really like this for powder foundation. I won't use it for anything else except for powder foundation. I feel like it's really big. It's really big. I keep looking at my phone to see how long I've been doing this video, and it's been 15 minutes, and I haven't even began to make a dent in all my brushes. Like, it's really sad. I actually really needed to do this video, though. I really needed to. So you can see it's not very fluffy now, but it was when I first showed you. I will not use this for bronzer, blush, anything except for powder foundation. It definitely gives me a smooth apply when it comes to powder foundation, so I'm going to keep it for just the reason of powder foundation. Here's another one of those Beauty Professionals. It is the Detail Highlighter. This is the brush that I had that actually got me into using these kind of brushes for my highlights, and it's actually really good. And again, I'm not going to part ways with this just because it's one of my favorite brushes, and I really like the design on the brush, to be completely honest, and I do like this brush a lot. So I'm not parting ways with this just yet. Have I ever done a declutter video on my channel? I don't think I have. Yeah. I have so much makeup. It's ridiculous. I probably have enough to do a one and done shop. Buy one of everything type of thing. One of a kind. I think that's I got that from a kid's show. I think I got that from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. It was called one of a kind, where she only had one of everything. That would be my makeup collection. I have one of everything. That would be my store. I actually used to compete with this brush against the ColourPop brush. I'd either use this or the ColourPop brush for my highlights. Usually the ColourPop one would win, I'm not going to lie, but I don't have the ColourPop one anymore. Thank you, Brandon. Alright, I'm just going to go with it. This is what it looks like. Cleaned. Completely cleaned. It had a lot of highlight in it. And like I said, I'm keeping it. I'm not parting ways with it because it is my favorite kind of highlighting brush. Oh, I was waiting for this one. This one is the Real Techniques Multitask Brush. It's a multitasking brush. It's very big and fluffy. I will actually use this to apply my foundation, or I will use it to apply powder foundation. One of the two. So it's a foundation brush to me. This brush I'm not getting rid of. It's Real Techniques, but this is actually the first ever brush that I got in a collection when I first started doing my makeup back in 2015. And it's still going strong. I think all the brushes that I got in that collection came with this. It came with my all over shadow brush, and it came with a foundation brush. I think I have all of them still. They're still going strong, and I use them a lot. In color, actually, I think you can still get the same set that I have. It's just the color of the brush is different. Like mine's a very muted pink, and I think now it's like a hotter pink, like what that fan brush was. So this is what it looks like. I'm keeping it for sure. Should I break this up into 2 parts? I'm debating if I should break this up into 2 parts. I think I'm going to because I'm going on an hour-long video. So, yeah. I'm going to clean up my mess that I have in here. Then I'm going to hop back on here and I'm going to do the second part of this. I'm going to finish cleaning my brushes, obviously. But this video is going to be going up first. Alright, I'll see you guys literally in my next video, which I'm about to film. Alright, bye.